Hi everyone, this is Saurabh Maurya and most welcome you all in Lingualite Capital. Dear friends, today we have a new term that is synchronic and diachronic linguistics. The term synchronic and diachronic linguistics is a part of the historical linguistics, which is also the sub part of the linguistics. When do I talk about the historical linguistics? Historical linguistics deals with the changes in language over the period of time or through the time, whether the changes are on phonological level or morphological level or lexical level or semantic level. So here in this lecture I am going to discuss about synchronic and diachronic linguistics, that what is synchronic and diachronic linguistics. When do I talk about synchronic and diachronic linguistics? It was first used by the term the Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure, who was the professor of general linguistics in Geneva from 1896 to 1911, and appeared in writing in his posthumous work, which was very famous work of the Ferdinand de Saussure, that is Course in General Linguistics, that was published in 1916. When do I talk about Ferdinand de Saussure? He is also known to be the father of historical linguistics and also is the founder of the modern linguistics and semiology. The work of the Ferdinand de Saussure course in general linguistics is very famous work, and also the questions have been asked from this topic many times, whether we talk about the PG intensive or NET or the GATE exams. So here we should know that what is the synchronic and diachronic linguistics. With the name synchronic, we can see here that syn means same, while chronic means time. Chronic means always, this is the etymological term, like we talk about whenever do we talk about the time period of the something or any work, then we just talk about that's a chronology. In the same way, chronology chronology here chrono means the time and logy means logos in the sense there is a Greek word logos which means to study of the time. If we talk about the chronology of the literature, where we will talk about the from old English period to the modern era, whatever the writers are poet. When we talk about the chronology of the poet, then we talk about the time period of the poet, that whatever the works of them. And in the same way, when do I talk about the synchronic and diachronic linguistics, here syn means same and chronic means time, means whatever the study do we in the same period of time, that comes under the synchronic linguistics. Or also we can say that synchronic linguistics deals with the study of the language at a given point of a time. Okay. Next, we have a new term, that is a diachronic linguistics. When do I talk about the diachronic linguistics? Diachronic linguistics sometimes called as the historical linguistics. Okay. When do I talk about the diachronic linguistics? In the same way, diachronic. Dia means through and chronic means time. Means whatever the study doing in language, that was the changes through the time or over the period of time, that is all comes under the diachronic linguistics. In a simple way, we can say that diachronic linguistics studies the linguistics development over a time. Okay. Next, we talk about the example of the synchronic and diachronic linguistics. When do I talk about synchronic linguistics? Suppose that if I have an my native language is English, and I have the actual knowledge of English. I mean, we talk about it's a phonological knowledge or grammatical knowledge. I have the actual knowledge of English. So if there is an or after the 4 km or 10 km or 50 km, like that, there is another community another community, and in this community, whatever the people are living here, whoever the people are living here, their native tongue is also English. Their native tongue is also English, and they have also the actual knowledge of English. This means that there is no any changes of the grammatical portions, whether or we talk about the lexical level or phonological level, there is no any changes. So they study about the language. When do I talk to them, whatever the language or what language do we use to communicate with this community, they also have the same language, we also have the same language. So there is no any differences, no any changes in this period of the time. I mean, when there is no any changes within the same with the same time, that the study also we can say the study of the language at the same period of the time, if you talk to them, then there is no any changes. So this is all comes under the synchronic linguistics. While do we talk about the diachronic linguistics, then diachronic linguistics means is that if we talk about the old English, we talk about the old English, we talk about the modern English, then we can find that we have so many changes regarding old English and modern English. Like the grammar of the old English was actually we cannot understand because of the errors. There are so many errors in the grammatical portions and also phonological portion and lexical and morphological, semantic, everything. While actually there is more of the amendments in the modern era of the grammar, that was by the Chomsky, or we talk about the Bloomfield, or we talk about the origin of the sources that was taken from the Panini. So there are the so many changes. Okay, so now we have the actual grammar, or we have the right grammatical portion on the structural level. So we can say that whatever the changes do we have from old English to the medieval English, from modern era, then that changes whatever the study do we, that all comes under the diachronic linguistics. Next, we have one more character who was also used the term diasynchronic and diachronic linguistics, but he was not famous. The person's name was, he was the Theophile Obenga, who was living in who is the I mean a native of the Africa, and also in his work Genetic Linguistic Connections of Ancient Egypt and the Rest of Africa, which was published in 1996. Actually, Obenga's most of the works was the study of the from old Egypt language to the modern, means whatever the changes, especially he was studying from the Egyptian language. So in reality, he says that in reality, diachronic and synchronic linguistics interlock. For example, analyzing the word order in a sentence exclusively in Old English is a study in a synchronistic linguistics. But when do I talk about analyzing how word order changed in a sentence from Old English to Middle or Modern English, is considered as a diachronic study. So the synchronic and diachronic distinction is accepted by the, actually he also used the term synchronic diachronic but was not famous, because there was a LD of person who was famous and who was also the father of the linguistics, that was the Ferdinand de Saussure Sahab. Yeah, that is why he was not mentioned much more. Okay, so this was all about the synchronic and diachronic linguistics. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.